Good morning, Crowfall. Nani here. I'm going to be going over an intermediate gathering guide. Hopefully you watched the previous guide for beginners and kind of how to get to this point. This is more so for people in the center before they hit end game gathering. So this would be for the individuals that have anywhere between blue and purple gathering disciplines, and anywhere from green to purple gathering belts. Now, I am currently on my wife's account, Marzi, to show this because she is an intermediate gatherer, and to help give you some tips and tricks in how to increase your gathering even more so. So currently we are in Dregs. Dregs has the highest chance drop for disciplines to drop. We do have a harvesting neck that gives plus 30 to harvesting all. A third ring, this is her digging ring, but this one will add intellect stats. And then her two mining rings, which is dex. Now she is on a white vessel. I would prefer to have a better vessel, but upgrading your vessel will also help increase your drops and yield rates as well, because it pushes your dex and intellect up higher, which will affect some of your mining stats here. Now, as you see, her damage for mining is at 98, so she doesn't have, or is really in need of having, a potion. We are only using a regular runestone tool from Zuma. Probably bought it off of a vendor. It gives 42 mining, some additional crit harvest chance to mining, harvest chance soul gems. She does not have any mining enchants at this moment. She's wearing her digging enchant set because that's all she has in Dregs at the moment. So she's not going to have any additional crit amount or critical chance that she could get from enchants. But that's okay, we're still not too far behind. She'll be at 2.44 with chocolate milk, or spicy chocolate milk I should say, which once you consume it, it'll give you a buff for 30 minutes to increase your harvest chance amount all by 1. And then some campfire stew, which will give harvest critical chance all by 5%. Now we're on a guinea, so these buffs will also last an additional amount of time because guineas get a racial bonus to food buffs. Yeah, Epicurean food buff duration by 10%. So we'll be able to gather a little bit longer. So these are her stats overall. Exploit weakness is kind of low. She is using plus 10 mining rings. So we'll go ahead and take those off. So that's where her mining would be at 79.22. So I'll go ahead and hit a rock so you can see what her damage would be at without the rings. So we're at 59 on a base hit. Then we'll equip the rings. And then she's at 78. I forgot to put this. And then of course when you're gathering you want to use your third pip, so that way it increases your damage on 2 hits. So as you can see, as an intermediate gatherer, even without popping your stew and spicy chocolate milk, you can still get purple stuff. Now we're at the basic level, so we'll go ahead and start mining a little bit. That's more or less where you want to be. You'll want to get some mining disciplines to upgrade your belt. So like let's say you do hit purple, I would advise to hold off using disciplines to get to legendary. I would advise to put any disciplines that you get into your mining belt, just so you can push it up to purple at least, and then work on your exploration discipline. But your mining belt, especially as a gatherer, is very useful when gathering. It gives you a lot of extra bonuses. So we'll go ahead and see if we can get a quick little session here. See if we can get any more disciplines for her. Oh, there's also something else that I haven't talked about, and the reason why we're a guinea and not like a half-elf, because a half-elf gives the additional stats to mining, which is what I explained in the last video. So as a beginner, when you first start to mine, you want to have those additional stats, but whenever you start getting into the point where you're intermediate, so like blue discipline, blue belt, or purple discipline and a blue belt, you really want to start looking at either the Genesian, which is what I'm playing right now, or the High Elf Assassin for Gathering. Now, it's the same case as before. You still go and take all 4 stat notes right here. And that's on both the Assassin and the Genesian, Guinea Duelist. But the reason why you want to start looking at one of these two is because both of these two races get an extra jewelry slot. So Genesians, they get an extra ring slot, so they have 3 rings, which is what I personally prefer. Is the 3 rings here. And then as a high elf, you would have 2 necks. Now you can have 2 harvesting necks made. You have a harvest all neck or a harvest damage all neck, which is kind of hard to explain, but the damage all neck increases this stat right here, so it add like plus 12%, I think, extra damage on top of what you'll be doing to the node. You want to try to have your mining at top, but as you can see, as a Genesian, with both of these 2 rings, she's already at 98 as an intermediate gatherer. So once you get to Lego, your mining stat is already almost capped if you just have a regular pick equipped. So you would eventually trade these 2 rings out for something else. That's for the more advanced gatherers out there. But yes, as a high elf, you can have 2 necks. So you can have one that increases your damage all mining, which increases the stat here. And then you could also have another one that gives you added damage percentage on top of it. It just personal preference. Me personally, it's whatever. But there are some people out there who swear by it. I haven't tested it personally. I would like to test it eventually. But currently right now I'm not at the point where I have the resources to make another gatherer to do that. But eventually one day I will. But anyways, I hear it's still really good to do. I kind of want to think it'd be really good for like logging, stoning, and even mining. Just because those nodes tend to take a while to chop down, and I've kind of struggled with hitting weak spots on those 3 gathering nodes. So the crit chance and the crit amount builds are more towards weak spot hits, whereas like Beneficial Harvest has a much better yield rate when you're just like chunking the nodes like crazy. But yeah, you have 2 necks as a high elf and 3 rings as a Genesian. So personally, as a 3rd ring for Genesian, because they have stealth, I always go for the stealth one, but currently my wife doesn't have that ring. She has the grave digging, so we're using that for the additional intellect stats. can see, we're chunking these pretty decently. We're getting okay yield rate. Oh, she's out of stam. So she also doesn't have any majors or minors, but there's a few that I could think of off the top of my head that would really help with mining. One would be meditation, which gives you stam on use. So like I didn't finish this node, I could pop it and have some stam to help me knock the node down to completed. Let's see. I like Agent Provocateur and as a major because in stealth I can heal. So just in case I get caught by something or whatever, I can pop my heal and try to get all the way. And then as a Ganesian, I like to use Tunnel as a minor as well, just because it's easier to get to nodes faster. You can do like a double jump into a roll and stealth, and then hit Tunnel and be like way a ways real quick. And I kind of feel like I burned some chocolate milk and stew. Go back and talk about the majors and minors real quick. As a little tip from the mobs too, you can kind of LOS using the node that you're currently hitting. And then right before the node breaks, you spam your stealth and you'll stay hidden, and you can still pick up your nodes. Let's see if we can test it. Get them to pat over here a little bit. So 1 increases your basic harvesting stat. 2 increases your spot weakness stat by 5% for 8 seconds. 3 is damage on your first 2 hits. 4 increases the effects of 1, 2, and 3. And 5 just gives you straight up 12 stamina. Just in case you didn't know. So most gatherers, we more or less just use 3. But if your damage is lacking a little bit, like let's say you're not in the 90s or whatever, you're in the 70s, you can do 4 and 1, or you can do 4 and 2 for more weak spots to pop up. But personally, I would just advise to use pip number 3 all the time. But if you accidentally miss it or whatever, it's okay to do like 4 and 1 or 4 and 2. It's not going to be a make or break thing. Let's go over a quick little recap here. I know I still got 20 something on my chocolate milky, but I mean sometimes beggars can't be choosers, right? So this here is a yield rate half of the time for an intermediate gatherer, which is okay. Kind of strange I didn't get a single drop for a mining discipline, but sometimes it happens. Maybe I just need to mine the next node and I'll get it. You never know. But let's do a quick recap here. So your stats are probably going to be roughly around this area. Your exploration disciplines that you do get, upgrade your mining toolkit or any tool, whatever gathering toolkit you have. Upgrade it. Try to get to blue, and then from blue to purple, and then try to get your Lego discipline. But you want to more or less try and get your mining belts because your yield rates will be even greater with that. This level 2, you also need to start thinking about which route you want to go. If you want to go a Ganesian route or if you want to do a high elf route. You have like the high elf assassin would be a good choice because of 4 stat nodes, so you can throw all your attribute points into intellect to boost that up. Your intellect won't be as high as a Ganesian, but it'll still be in a relatively decent range. Next, you also want to push up your vessel. You you'll want to try to get into green, blue, and then you'll start seeing some pretty good differences. You could even shoot for like a Lego or a purple, whatever. But you do want to put some investment into your vessel for your gather. It'll definitely help improve your yield rate as you continue to gather. Next is your enchants. So these ones are set up for digging. I know I don't have the mining enchants to hand over to my wife, but this is what she's got for the time being. So it's more or less the same setup. It's the critical harvest chance, but it would be mining plus 4%. And then she has plethora of dust for grave instead of the critical amount digging, but that's what you would want really, is critical amount digging plus 0.5, and that'll add to your critical harvest amount, which will help bring that above a 3, which is really where you want to be. So that way with the chocolate milk, it'll be around 4. So those stats are obtainable. You just got to get the enchants by either buying them from another player, trading them from another player, or going out to mine and hoping RNGesus is on your side. Next stat is major miners. I don't know too much about the high elf major miners, but if you have access to the meditation miner, it'll add stamina whenever you use it. When you're out of combat, you just click it button, you get the stam. It really helps for like finishing off a couple of those notes that I did earlier that I ran out of stam, so I had to hide. As a Ganetian, I'd advise tunnel, so that way you can just stealth, use your tunnel ability. You more or less teleport 20 meters either which way you're looking, and that'll help you get to the next node just that faster, and you can go ahead and start mining. And then for majors, personally I like Agent Provocateur because I can heal while I'm stealthed on my Ganetian. And then for a major, I think it's Thub Thumper, and it gives you I think it's stamina resources back when you get stunned, and I think it might heal you or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, you know what? We can do this, huh? Cropedia. Agent Provocateur. Call traps and lay low. So whenever you upgrade it, you also improve your speed and stealth and your movement speed damage bonus. That's interesting, but yeah. So increase stealth speed, heal when you're stealth, and let's see if we can find Thub Thumper. The duelist one, yeah it is. So as a duelist, you'll get this one, which is what I personally like for Spite and Escapology, anti-crit strike, health. Spite, so you recover health whenever you suffer a knockdown, stun, blind, or suppress, and you add 50 resolve when you are affected by knockdown, stun, blind, suppress, cooldown reduction, or push effects. So that's really good too, so it makes it harder for people to stun you multiple times in a row because it stacks your resolve. And then Spite gives you a little bit of a heal whenever you're taking those effects. Personally, it's what I use. It's what I really like. And I've had some decent success rates with getting away from our frenemies out there. And yeah, chocolate milk, stew, and go hammy. Get them mining disciplines, or those gathering disciplines, so you upgrade your tool belt. And that's more or less the intermediate gathering guide. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I can continue to pull out some more content that'll help everyone out there. Catch y'all later, crows.